What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
The WNBA is struggling to cope with Caitlin Clark's absence. Last week, the Indiana Fever were knocked out of playoff contention, and since then, ticket sales, attendance, and viewership for the league have taken a sharp and alarming dive.
Look at this little chart right here. The Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year. And the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their game.
The WNBA is grappling with the impact of Caitlin Clark's absence. Following the Indiana Fever's playoff elimination last week, the league has seen a concerning drop in ticket sales, attendance, and overall viewership.
Caitlin's departure, do we think that these new WNBA fans are going to stick around for the rest of the playoffs? The Liberty Aces series might be one that draws some numbers. The disparity between 1.8 million and around 400,000 is wild, especially with football season being in full swing.
Though fans recognize Caitlin Clark's absence as a setback, some see it as an opportunity for her to sharpen her media skills. Critics argue that her responses to controversy have been lacking and believe this time off could help her improve in that area.
To be in this situation next year where I'm saying, do you remember when you people were giving her grace, saying that she's 22, media training is not there? 1 year afterwards, she's still in the same position.
Caitlin Clark's fans have largely stopped tuning into the WNBA, frustrated by the criticism and perceived bias she faced in high-stakes games. The league pushed her to her limits, and now, in her absence, it's struggling to recover. Her supporters feel the WNBA is finally experiencing the full impact of the Caitlin Clark effect. As Caitlin Clark takes a well-deserved break, the WNBA is left scrambling to navigate the playoffs. Without her star power, the league now faces an uphill battle, struggling to draw even a fraction of the audience that Caitlin would have effortlessly attracted. Caitlin Clark was repeatedly pushed and slammed to the ground by several players, yet no fouls were called. Despite her outstanding performance, she was denied the chance to play a third game against the Sun, leaving many fans frustrated by the lack of fairness in officiating.
Qualified for their jobs, and so they've allowed the Caitlin Clark abuse to go on and on and on while everybody pretends, oh, it's Caitlin Clark's fans. They're on Twitter and they're horrible. They focus on that rather than the real persecution and inappropriate behavior of their very own WNBA.
The WNBA has experienced its fair share of highs and lows, but Caitlin Clark's arrival marked a turning point. As a generational talent, Clark injected a new level of excitement and visibility that the league had long sought. Her influence was felt instantly, not only through her matched skills on the court, but also in the way she captivated fans, drew media coverage, and engaged casual viewers, sparking a renewed interest in women's basketball.
Number of viewers for WNBA games that Caitlin Clark is not in is like 3 to 4 million. When she's in the game, when it's her game playing, it's like 17 million.
Yeah. Well, I also look at the attendance in the arena.
Yes.
It's 8 to 10,000 everywhere else. Caitlin Clark, 17, 18,000.
Yep. Clark is more than just a star athlete. She's a phenomenon who revitalized the WNBA. However, with her season ending after the loss to the Connecticut Sun, the league is now struggling to sustain the momentum she created. Without her, it feels as though the WNBA has hit a wall, unable to recreate the electric atmosphere and excitement that Clark's presence naturally brought.
Caitlin Clark, she is the first Division I player, and that is male or female, to record 3,000 points, 900 assists, and 800.
The WNBA has undeniably taken a sharp downturn, and Caitlin Clark's absence is at the heart of it. When Clark was on the court, the league felt vibrant. The buzz, hype, and excitement were palpable. Fans who rarely watched women's basketball suddenly couldn't get enough, eagerly tuning in to see what Clark would do next. Her presence brought an energy that now seems to have vanished, leaving the WNBA struggling to keep that same level of interest alive. Next, let's face it, without Clark, that the WNBA is missing its spark, and the numbers tell the story. Viewership and attendance have noticeably declined, despite earlier predictions of a strong playoff turnout following Caitlin Clark's breakout regular season. Both the league and its fans were hopeful that the excitement Clark stirred during the season would carry over into the playoffs, driving a surge in audience engagement. However, since her exit, those expectations have fallen flat. Stadiums are less crowded than anticipated, and TV ratings have plummeted, leaving the WNBA struggling to maintain the momentum.
All the women that have been calling for the equality, and now that there is the chance for them to start getting paid more because the exposure's up. Because it's her, you have people like, what's her name, Jamelia Hill or what? I can't stand her.
Yeah.
You got these women who are coming on here and they're saying it's because she's...
To put things in perspective, Caitlin Clark regularly attracts over 1 million viewers for her games. Yes, that's right. 1 million fans tuning in just to see her play. This level of viewership is almost unheard of for the WNBA in recent years, a league that has often struggled to achieve such impressive numbers. Fans have gone so far as to rearrange their schedules around her games, making sure they could either be in the stands or watching from home to catch her live. Without her presence, the WNBA is finding it challenging to sustain that level of interest. In fact, without Caitlin Clark, the league struggles to attract even 300,000 viewers per game. A staggering decline that underscores her significance and influence. When Clark is on the court, fans are eager to watch her dynamic playing style. Her captivating personality and knack for delivering in crucial moments elevate her to a status that transcends the sport. However, in her absence, it feels as though the excitement dissipates, leaving many disinterested.
Wisconsin's women's team averages around 4,500 people per home game. When Iowa came to town, the attendance was over 14,000. Rutgers usually draws around 2,600 fans. Against Iowa last week, it was a sellout crowd of 8,000. Purdue averages around 4,800 fans, but on Wednesday, there was a sellout crowd of 14,867 to watch the hometown Boilermakers get crushed by the Hawks.
The excitement that once defined the WNBA is notably missing now. The league, which flourished during Caitlin Clark's time on the court, now seems to be limping toward the finish line. It's not merely that Clark is an exceptional player, she's a unique athlete whose appeal is unmatched. When that phenomenon isn't showcased, interest quickly wanes, leaving the WNBA struggling to regain the attention it enjoyed during her breakout season. Sure, Clark can score from virtually anywhere, deliver pinpoint assists, and dominate games on her own, but her influence extends far beyond the statistics. She transcends the sport in a way few athletes ever do. Every game she plays is infused with energy, excitement, and unpredictability. Fans never know what she'll do next, but they know it will be something remarkable. That's why her games draw packed stadiums and why millions watch from home. Caitlin Clark is a spectacle, not just a player.
There is a Caitlin Clark effect on all of basketball, and especially on women's basketball ratings. Kudos to her. She has elevated an entire sport in viewership.
There's an undeniable magnetism about Caitlin Clark. She doesn't just play basketball, she creates an electrifying experience every time she steps onto the court.
They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlin.
This is unbelievable. Nike has paused all Caitlin Clark promotions indefinitely, effectively sidelining her over Wilson's complaints.
He lucked into the marketing chance of a generation, and they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now here's the money. Based on conversations with people in the know, it indeed has something to do with the WNBA MVP and Nike athlete, jaWilson. Asia will be...
Spot on. jaWilson is now getting all the promotion from Nike, while Caitlin Clark is left in the dark. After Wilson's MVP win, Nike chose not to back Clark amid the ongoing controversy.
Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment?
Exactly.
Why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Exactly. Why when Asia was releasing a shoe, were we talking about Caitlin?
Nike thinks jaWilson will stir up less controversy, despite the fact it's obvious she won't generate the same sales as Caitlin Clark.
First NBA playoffs, first NBA season, and she's wearing Kobe Bryant shoes. They don't even have a shoe for her. And it may not be till 2026, 2027. Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for...
This deal was supposed to be a game changer for Clark, but backlash from analysts and fans pushed her to the sidelines. It's almost like Nike isn't interested in making money this year.
Clark's going to help it change for the better. All of a sudden, we going to see jaWilson. She may get some more shine because she's that girl. Diana Taurasi gonna get more shine because we know what she brings to the table. Ionescu, she's gonna get more shine. Others, black, white, everything in between. It's about the ladies now more so than ever before.
jaWilson's complaints have catapulted her to the top at Nike. She's now being promoted everywhere, with rumors swirling that she might even get her own signature shoe.
The WNBA playoffs are over. You wonder why they sat and watched her get stabbed in the eye by Dejanay Carrington and did nothing? They want her out of the playoffs. They think they're going to use these playoffs to build up a 6'5" Amazon woman, jaWilson, into the biggest star in sports. It ain't happening.
Caitlin Clark is quickly rising to stardom, building a massive fan base in no time, even drawing in people who've never watched women's basketball before. Her impact goes beyond her stats. She's breathed new life into the sport, becoming one of the most electrifying players to watch.
Wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place. It's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction.
Caitlin Clark, hailed as the future of the WNBA, has brought an unmatched level of excitement and viewership to women's basketball. Yet despite her meteoric rise and widespread appeal, Nike remains focused on jaWilson, leaving Clark in the shadows. Many expected Clark to become a key face for the brand, but her absence from Nike's promotions is striking. It seems the company is hesitant to fully embrace her as a leading star, holding back from giving this rising talent the spotlight she deserves.
Somebody coming along and elevating the sport shine ultimately benefits you. Go out there, compete with her, try to bust her up if you want to, and all of that stuff. Just don't hate on the acclaim.
This decision has ignited speculation and frustration among fans and analysts. Adding to the controversy are rumors that Nike has rejected the idea of giving Clark her own signature shoe line, a move many argue is overdue, given her marketability and the buzz surrounding her WNBA debut. The question lingers: why is this happening?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best team out.
You hit the nail on the head. It undermines the women's game when the focus shifts from talent to marketing. One theory suggests that Nike is